So, my friends, we are now already, live, and I am seeing that we have with us, variety of people. I have muted, all of you. My request to everybody is that please do not enter into our boardroom. Let's this panel we have today the panel of 4 people. Mahak and Shubhangi has already done presentations before, so you know them, and they are your colleagues. And also we have with us, our friends, variety of friends who have joined us today. And I would like to welcome all our interns and well as friends who are watching us. See, the purpose of today's webinar is to understand, how we go about after 10 plus, right? And trying to understand this point, board results has come out. Now lots of people are, watching us, and they also are going to schools for their results, and they are now trying to go to colleges. Delhi University people have started filling forms, and I have received lots of calls about understanding how to go about doing activities after 10 plus, right? And lots of parents are worried. Students are also worried. Many of them have got good results, 90% plus. It's a big deal. Nowadays, I see everybody getting 90. I recall I got only 70% or something, which was very tough that time. Best of 4 could fetch me a kind of admission in the university. But now what I'm trying to tell you is that 90% or 95% is nowadays, nothing, because the number of students, across India has increased tremendously, and the number of colleges in proportion has not. There is a big, need everywhere, and people do not get admission as per their choice, and so much of problem, issues, and whatnot. I will like to invite everybody today, and before I invite, all our friends, let me first see who are there, and then initiate the talk for today. Generally, it takes some time to step. We have all our most of the active interns today. Joao is there, Oja is there, Garvita, Urja, Rusali, Prachi, Ankit, Khushi, Shreya, Abu, Dipten, Dristi, Rahul Khateji is there, Faraz, Muskan, Paneer Selvame, and Shahina, Ravi Kumar. Lots of people are already there watching us, and I must tell you that please, my friends, if you have not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe, and it will be my appeal to you to please share this link, today's video, to all your friends in social media, everywhere, so that at least those who are interested, they can make use of. I've just shared this link. Kindly try and share if it is possible. And the idea is to help as many 10 plus 2 students as possible, as well as their parents. Thank you, Ravi Bhusanji, for being with us today. Now, let me formally welcome you, my friends, to our today's session. That is on career beyond 10 plus. That means career beyond school. There are lots of interns who are still believing that they are in a school, and they intend to behave like students, like teachers pushing them, somebody bunking class, or somebody not doing assignments, and you have to push them. It goes on, it is like. But the other point that comes into picture, for everybody, and that is we, students who pass out from 10 plus 2 in school. Many times you are not clear what you want to do, right? And that creates a big problem. I tell you my situation. I have studied in a boarding school. It was a military school. I studied from class 6 till class 12. Spent 7 years in a military school, in a military zone, or I will say discipline zone. Early morning we have to go for PT at 6 o'clock, then take breakfast, do parade, do games, and then prayer, and then class, and then break for some time, lunch, and then again break for some time, and then games, and then evening preparations, and by 11 o'clock lights out. Everybody sleeps and wakes up again at 5:30 or 6 for that was the routine. Entertainment part, we had very good entertainment. We used to have punishments. We used to have indiscipline was not tolerated. We used to have on Saturday open air theater, cinema. That was the most entertaining point of our life. This way we lived, and we used to get very little time in reality to focus on study. We were doing lots of horse riding, boating, mountaineering, because we were surrounded by mountains and dam. So we used to go for swimming. We had, electronics club, we had polo club, we had swimming pool and everything. So we were so busy in doing all this that we had very little time, and it still we have to perform, especially till 12th, till 10th, there was no problem, because when we reached 10th, teachers started warning us, your future depends on your 10th result. Nobody asked for 12th result, because everybody asked for your 10th result, because there you have your date of birth written, so it is a certificate. So if you show your certificate, 10th certificate to anyone, and there you have very little number, people will have bad focus on your study. So then started in class 9 problem of focusing, and then in 12th we have to show that okay, at least we have respectable numbers. So we started studying again. In class 11, most of the people failed because nobody was studying, because there was no board exam. Retake, lots of games, athletics meet, representing a school in a variety of debate competitions, somebody representing in hockey, somebody representing athletics, somebody is in parade, NCC, etc. Again, when 12th comes, oh no, this time if you go out of this school, if you don't get numbers, no admission. Not everybody can go to National Defense Academy, because there is a strict control. There is SSB. You have after all India, there is hardly 200 seats, 100 seats. So in that kind of a situation, but suddenly when you are least bothered about what you have to study, and suddenly when the pressure of a study comes, we run into trouble. What happened? I personally am telling, in 10th I had good respectable number, which I don't want to share, but in 12th till January I had not studied at all. In classroom, teachers used to come, I used to sit in the back side, and most of the people wanted to sit in the back side, but there was no seat. So teacher used to come, give the class, no question answer. We used to bunk, lots of nonsense. Generally when you are at 12th, 11th, 12th, you start feeling that you have grown up now. So you try to do indisciplined things. We were doing also the fighting with each other, at times with seniors, at times with juniors. No rules, no regulations. We try to defy many disciplines. And we at times were troublemakers too. Teachers were very pissed off at, but they were so good that they had always tried to mold us and make us good people. At least sense of responsibility was there. Why till January there were no more around? I was full confidence that I will be clearing my National Defense Academy entrance examination, SSB, etc., which I did. But unfortunately, SSB Varanasi, 1990, I think we were from our school around 20 people who had gone for our, hardly 2 or 3 got selected, rest all were set back. So that was a very, very frustrating point. When you are fully confident about what you will get and you don't get, you run into trouble. And if you qualify for National Defense Academy, you just need to pass the 10+2 exam and don't do anything at all. That is the criteria. But when you don't qualify and you just pass 10+2, what happens? You will not be even getting admission in the normal, jisko bolte hain Bulteri college, Faltu college. So that, that pressure created, in Jan after SS, it was not only me. There were many from our batch, approximately 50 in total. And this happens in almost all military schools. Everybody, at ease till the SSB exams, and then sudden shock. Everybody had. So as we have gone through lots of training, rigorous training, etc., we know how to come back to our system. Discipline, concentration, etc., starts. Team building takes place. Core team is formed. 2-3 people team up. They coach each other, and then finally the board exam comes. And if your luck is there, if you have studied well, you are composed mentally. You are able to do good in boards, and at least you expect you make a respectable result. Somehow I was able to manage 70% mark, which finally gave me admission in Delhi University PGDAV college in Poland. But there were many who could not make it to even Delhi University, even the worst college, because somebody had failed in math, somebody had little marks in physics, practical marks in at times chemistry, also biology. We had to study bio, physics, maths, or English. No Hindi. Till 10th we had Hindi. Till 8th we had Sanskrit. But now what happened? We come to Delhi or we come to some college, we go there. We had an option either engineering or medical or National Defense. But time has changed. After coming to the university, I realized JNU has a good option. Let's explore there. I went there. I saw greeneries. I saw good hostels at less cost. So I thought of giving entrance examination, and luckily next year I appeared for it, and I was lucky with many of my schoolmates. So we all were 10, 12 people cleared the exam, and all entered in JNU camp as a group. We had a very nice group, and we started having fun, together. the school's fraternity came to college also and university also. And we went as we were disciplined, we made many good friends. So 10 became 20, 20 became 40. So we were at the helm of the affairs everywhere. But now what happened? Career. How many days, how much time will you afford to do this, fun time? You have to be responsible. You have to think of what is the future. Similarly, currently, in schools, I recall my daughter's education. She had taken maths and for engineering. She did well in her 12th, perhaps 90% mark, including some 100 marks, 95 and 98% mark, math, science. She said, I want to go to US. First year, she didn't appear for SAT examination. Next year, she did. And finally, she went to world's top 10 university called University of Texas, Dallas. So she is currently studying there. Her classmates, many of them, they were also, the story which I have told you, Mankind, they had been doing fun. So many of them could not make to any good university. Finally, they have ended up studying in a private university and college. They're doing well. But imagine, in India, not everybody is wealthy enough to afford, high fees for engineering colleges or medical colleges or US or other universities across India. India has also now very costly universities like Ashoka University and all. We have some university mediocre like Amity. We have, now Jindal coming in. We have K.R. Mangalam University also. Variety of private universities. Raya Foundation. These are, some. Amma has started her own university. These are some. But have you ever imagined that after you do your BA, let's say after you do your math sciences, or after even you do BTech engineering, or after you do biotech, do you really get the return of what is being taught to you or how much you invest? Have you ever tried to find out what is going to be the return on investment? Suppose you take admission in a private college or a university, you end up at least 10 lakh rupees for a BA program, right? Or BSc program or engineering program. After that, you do MBA. Again, there you invest some money, 10 lakh again. So 20, 25 lakhs and you're 5 to 6, 7 years there and stress. But in reality, what is happening is, most of the colleges I recall, because I have been interacting with variety of colleges. I have also been advisor to Punjab Technical University, which has around 300 colleges across India, mostly in Punjab. So as an advisor to the university, I have seen variety of college. As a professor at Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, one of India's top 10 business school. I've taught there for 14 years. So I have, seen the best of the best. And I'm being from alumni of Sainik School, I have around network of 25 Sainik schools across the globe. I also have been on the board for variety of good public schools as a judge for debate and declamation competitions like Sindhya School, Uni School, Mayo College, variety, including DPS and, Goenka. But now tell me, I have interacted with the students. Still school, you have a very good system of teachers, rescue students risk. Although comparatively, when we try and compare with village schools have nothing, But if you try and compare with these elite schools, you have quite a good infrastructure, everything, almost perfect. You can go and question even teachers, principals. There is always parents meeting. Feedback mechanism is there. But when we go to any college, Delhi University or, Jawaharlal University or Pune, there are a variety of colleges in South, in Chennai region or Bangalore area. There is an education hub. Even in Punjab, there is an education hub. Nowadays, some universities have come up quite good in Chhattisgarh also. All these, Dehradun, all these points where you go, the ratio of a student is very high. One classroom may have around 100 students. Can you imagine 100 students, one teacher? The quality of education goes, it's like, drastically down. No? So when you are trying to choose your colleges and universities, think of how you are going to adapt to that situation. Similarly, when you are going to engineering college, there are 200 students in a batch. There are at times 300. Many times they don't have, faculties to teach them. One faculty is overloaded. When you do assignments, if you don't care, teachers don't care. Finally, you go and appear in the examination, somehow you pass and you become an engineer. So what is the return how much the quality, what is the professional development that has taken place, how much contribution you are making to the job market. You are almost kind of a burden for any office. Why they will hire, right? And you live in a confusion that you have become an engineer. Lots of people live in confusion. They are MBS. They know certain papers like international marketing. They have read books like Kotler, C.K. Prahlad, these lofty names of the certain management jargon. They learn these things, right? But when it comes to talking, it comes to preparation of profile, it comes to preparation of CV, they are having almost nil and zero. They are very good at chatting on WhatsApp. But when you tell them to write a mail, they fail. When you tell them to prepare a proposal, they fail. When you tell them to prepare a content, they fail. I'm talking about best of the best colleges. I mean, 5 to 10% of them are quite good because they are being fine-tuned by their parents or their school or prior, environment in which they live in. So all these problems, my friend, they come when you enter in. But what happens? What you do then? Parents, as a parent, as a student, all these points, we don't take care. And we go for, मेरे उसके बच्चे ने वहाँ admission लिया है. That fellows has taken admission there, let's go there. No, my friends are doing engineering, I also must do it. No, my father was a doctor, I must be a doctor. I have a neighbor, very good gentleman, a doctor, and mother is IT person. Boy is a very good smart boy, and he has a passion for photography. Now he is being forced to take admission in engineering college. What will happen to this fellow? He will spend 4 years there. Certainly he will acquire basic skill of engineering. But can you imagine that photography passion, if he had used that, perhaps he could have become one of the best photographers. Similarly, as I recall, from my school, my batch, after they left school, parents had pressure, you must do some technical course. So they prepared for it. They spent 2 years, failed. Finally, 3 years. Then they ended up taking admissions, in a college where they could get their degree in one go, in 1 year, something of that sort. And after that, they started preparing for civil services and I will say PO and banking examination. Again, another disaster. The fellow who has not done properly the graduation degree, he is preparing for civil service and he is preparing for banking services. I mean, can you imagine? There has to have some logic. And then after that, after spending 30 years of life in doing all this nonsense, parents start telling, that मेरा बेटा तो वही काम का नहीं है. What should I do? वो अपना depression में parents अलग and बच्चा अलग. डिप्रेशन, मेरे से तो कुछ हो नहीं रहा, जिंदगी में होगा नहीं, आपसे कुछ तो करोगे आप. यू हैव टू डिसाइड कि आपको करना क्या है एंड टेक योर ओन डायरेक्शंस. नो, इफ यू कॉपी अदर्स, वो सिविल्स की तैयारी कर रहा है, मैं भी करूंगा तो कैसे होगा? ये these are all points that we should take into consideration at 10th, 11th and 12th level. Or if because of some reason you have not taken, at least when you are now 10th, 12th pass, while taking admission for next course of action, because by mistake, if you end up taking wrong course which you don't like, which you don't have passion about, somebody has lots of passion about literature, languages, writing style, Hindi, English, anything, you could do. Creativity. Somebody may have technical knowledge, very high technical knowledge. A person, give him a mobile phone, he will repair it immediately. Or someone give him an app to make, he will make it immediately in 12th. Somebody has very good oratory skills. Why not give it a try to become a lawyer? It will be a good thing for him, he can make use of it. Or maybe somebody could think of becoming a good politician, or not a problem. It is a good profession now. Or helping a politician. First you help and then you learn and move ahead. There is no political, politician making school. Otherwise, if I had funds, I could have launched one to make someone political. But the reality is, we as a student, we copy paste most of the time. We learn from peers. Many times in the school, people end up in bad habits because of someone, close, doing drug addict, drink, clubs, pub, and then life goes on and they waste time. By the time they realize that, they are not the one made for this. Similarly, if somebody gets admission in some course which is not worthy for him or her, I had interest in political science. I took admission there. But I found more better option in languages. I took admission there in languages, and then I also took political science as my second subject, and then build on. there, I did my studies with passion in such a way that when I was in MA, I cleared the entrance examination of School of Diplomacy, Madrid. The only person who has cleared that entrance examination so far from India is Ravi Kumar, right? And all this thing happened because of the passion. And that diplomat, that school, that university about which I am talking is meant only for diplomats of Madrid. But there had some provision, that one can apply from abroad and appear for the entrance examination. I appeared for that examination in Embassy of Spain and cleared that. I have that certificate. I'm very proud. Although I didn't go there to study my international relations because of some family reasons. Later on, I got a scholarship for Mexico once, twice, thrice, many times. There are opportunities abound, but we have to be passionate about it. And the passion that we are talking today is language. Think of your return on investment, 20 lakh rupees, and then still mediocre in life. Here, even if you spend 1 lakh rupees with your passion, you will become a much better individual and give less burden to your parents. Imagine the charm of talking to somebody in French. Imagine the charm of talking to somebody in China. Imagine the charm of talking to somebody in Japan. Language, matter. And when I'm saying making career in language is not purely that, you talk, and do become translator or interpreter. There are lots of, points which a language person can fit in, including engineering, including management, including medical, legal, lawyers, BPO, KPO, any profession that you can think of. I am aware of a person who is a pilot and he is a translator. I am aware of a person who is a sketcher. He sits inside operation theater and observes the doctors and tries to find out the ways of reducing the stress of the doctor and increase efficiency in the operation process. And he is an artist, he is just a designer. So just imagine a designer sitting in the operation theater. Can you imagine? If you have a passion, you can fit in anywhere. I will tell you how. Our friends today, Mahak and Shubhangi and Professor Jayalakshmi will show you the ways. I will add some value when they're talking. I don't want to talk more on languages because I have had enough of talking on this. But my friends, I will tell you the only thing that you have to do is think of people investing time in engineering. Number one. Think of people investing time in medical. Think of investing time in other things, which you don't like. And of course, the time and money and commitment involved and the return you get. We have, later on, there are a variety of people who join our training programs, including we have professor in physics who joined, and he's very passionate about French. I am aware of a diplomat who is a career diplomat, and he is so passionate about Latin American languages and culture that his diplomacy becomes secondary, and he talks more about literature and culture, etc. I am aware of somebody who is a lawyer. I am also one of them, and I involve more myself in teaching you translation. I am aware of somebody who is, a biotechnology, expert, and who does translation of the content related to, these biotech, because that fellow has learned Russian, or that fellow has French or Swedish or Chinese and Japanese, Korean. There are lots of, interns who come to us who are MBAs, and they are not very happy about what they have learned, and they prefer to remain in language field because it gives them good hike. So my only appeal parents as well as students who are in 10+2 and who are trying to now make their career a new life, second life, they have entered into a new phase of life, will be to think of whether they are a good communicator, whether they have passion to talk, they are a storyteller. Why can't writer? Chetan Bhagat, after engineering, what he has done from he has even done, I am Ahmedabad training, and then right. You will find, variety of people around who are. I am aware of. In fact, last time we had Mr. Munna Singh, our friend, who is a commandant of ITBP and CRPF, and lots of problems in there. But he's a good poet. I am aware of a civil servant who is a civil servant, but he is far better than a singer, and he has created, he launched his own album. I'm aware of an IPS officer. She is a very, very good singer, I'm telling. I'm aware of a very good IPS officer from Maharashtra cadre. She is from UP, and she was a national athlete, and she became IPS of, and all these things have, if you I will. I have talked to one of our good friends who is an IPS officer. He will join you for a motivational talk. All these things, happens because of passion. You do not have passion, you cannot be an athlete and become an IPS. Similarly, if you do not have passion, cannot become a good. So, my friend, if you are deciding your career today, think of what best you can do in life and what you like, inclination. And if you don't have, develop it. It takes time, but once you have passion, नींद दूर जानी, I'm telling you, आपका आधा बैटल खत्म. अभी शुभांगी हमारे साथ बैठी है, and वो जर्मन की स्टूडेंट. She has developed passion. She wants to become chief justice of. Let's see how where her passion takes her. I just hope that she will do it. So before I pass on, today's talk to our panel, I would like to come back to our friends who are watching us today and take up any questions they have, any suggestions they have. Joao, Shruti, Ojaji, Garvita, they are all there. Diptensu, Rahul Khate, again I see Ravi Bhusanji, Ishita, Akash Sharma, Anupriya, Kose, Professor Kose from Max, very good from economics. Then we have Anpurna, we have Anjali, we have Ritika, Ambadi, Shivam Rawat. Exactly, student-teacher ratio is very bad, right, Shivam? We have variety of people watching us, and my request will be to everybody: please share the video. Try to make this channel more popular, my friends. Treat it yours, and if you want to contribute, it will be great to see you. So far, our internship program has already entered into our last phase, 1.5 months over. We are left with only days. So in these 15 days, I wanted to give our best, because the main fundamentals was to bring discipline you. There are certain points that must be taken into consideration, which I believe slowly it has already been done. Now we have to scale up and do quick learning exercise from today's webinar, and then afterwards we will have more webinars in frequency. So let's welcome my friends. Meanwhile, I expect your comments, my friend. I will be now passing on to Prashantji. Thank you. I have lost my passion. There was a time when I wanted to become something. I was restless for it. But you should keep the fire, alive, my friend. There is a story. I mean, I will make a closing remark on some statement of some good poet, But before that, let's come back to our friends now, and first to Mahak, then to introduction part to Shubhangi, and then Professor Jayalakshmi, and then share the talk for today. Mahak, your time, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And as you have already very well explained how after we get out of the school, the students in 12th class, what is the struggle that they face. And I could relate to it so much, because at 2 years back, I was there, and I was very much confused about what should I do, what should I not do. There were so many options from, and I guess students who just passed out are on the same juncture of their lives, that they're very of what to choose and what not to do. So it's very difficult to exactly choose what you want to do, know what you're passionate about. Okay. So, and a lot of students are also unaware about how many fields they actually have. Some people have restricted minds, so they only know that there's either engineering, there's only medical, or there's only law. But there are also other fields. For example, the arts field has so many opportunities, has prospects that it has to offer. And one such prospect is a career in language. So it is not a mainstream career, as to say it's in. I still think that in India's in our context, in our society's context, not still many people pursue foreign languages, because when I passed out and I was telling people that I have chosen French to pursue my graduation, and everyone was very shocked, and they even didn't know what it was. So, and I received very negative and very bad comments about it. So that is how I know that not many people out there are motivated for this field. So let me tell you one thing, as sir has already told about the investment and the return. The investment in this field is very low. Trust, the college fees is, if you're studying at a central university, for example, or JNU, is very low, and at the same time, such a great college it is, and boost your career in so many ways that it is nowhere in comparison to engineering or medical schools in our country. And at the same time, look, making a career in foreign languages gives you a lot of career prospects, opens up to a lot of fields that, as sir has already mentioned, That language, a person who knows languages can enter into any field they want, be it an IT profession, medical, law, be it anything in this world. So as attractive as this language career sounds, it is also, if you choose this, it will be a cherry on your cake. So it is just like that. So I believe that if you're someone who has learned a language in school, because these days schools offer foreign languages, or if you're someone who's still confused about what do you want to choose, or if you're not aware of certain things, then we bring you a totally different field, that is making a career in foreign languages. And let me tell you that if you're interested, if you're someone who's interested in culture or languages, or if you're someone who's creative, then you are at the right time in the right place, because after this webinar, I hope you will have a changed mindset about pursuing a career in foreign language. Okay, so moving on, I'd now like to talk about how you can pursue, and what are the types of courses that you can take up in foreign languages or any Indian language. So one of the main aspects of pursuing a career in languages is that, the flexibility it offers. Now there is only one requirement: you need to be passionate about it, and second, you need commit. Learning any language or pursuing a career in this takes a lot of commitment and passion. That, and if you have these two things, then you're done. The battle is half won. Okay, so now I'll talk about the course. See, so either you can pursue full-time courses in languages, or you can do some part-time course. So basically, these courses differ at, how they're composed. There are various universities in that offer language courses, and their curriculum and their courses structure differs from institute to institute, and also language to language. So if you're choosing a full-time career, if you're choosing a full-time graduation or a course, then you will also not only you'll learn to read, write, comprehend the language. Not only you'll attain fluency in the language, but also you learn the history, the politics, the literature, media skills associated with that country. So it is like a full package program, that you're also learning a language, you'll also know the culture and everything. Okay, so now the second and the next part is that, it also gives you a deeper understanding of a foreign language and of a culture. So if, in example, in future you're going out to some foreign country, for example France or be it Germany, you'll also not get a cultural shock there when you go there. Okay. So, and also, when once you acquire all of this knowledge about their culture, their literature, their economy, or their politics, so you get a deeper understanding of how it works. So if you're someone in, suppose for example, if you're in trade, or if you're in international marketing, or if you're someone who's done international relations or studied politics, so then if you have the knowledge and the culture, and you know the politics already, so it gets very easy for you to have success in your field. Similarly, another very attracting prospect that these language programs have is the exchange program. Many universities in India, like the Delhi University and New Goa University, which is famous for its course in Portuguese, they have great exchange programs with universities in Europe, which they facilitate under the Erasmus program. So, which gives you the first hand experience of of a foreign culture, of the language. It provides you immersion in the language, and also boosts up your communication skills. So that is that. And after that, if you decide further to pursue your studies in these languages, you can also pursue MPhil, PhD in translation studies and whatnot. So there are a lot of prospects and a lot of things that you can do while once you study the foreign language. Similarly, you can also take these all courses, language courses specifically, part time, which will also allow you to take up two things at a time. So suppose if you are a student of economics, maybe, or if you're a student of commerce, engineering, or whatever, you can always learn a language. You can always do a language course side by side, because it will help you, and it will also reflect the diversification on your CV and boost up your skills. Okay, so let me give you an example here, like for a very basic example, that if you're someone who's interested in media, like you're doing a media studies course, or you're doing journalism or something like that. So there are international correspondents, there are international journalists who work in different countries. Like for example, there's a channel which is France 24. So they have their correspondents in India who report what is happening in India in France in French. So you could similarly do that, staying in other country. Or for example, the films that the Indian films that release in the foreign country, who do you think does the voiceover, does the dubbing, or provides the subtitles, or the series you see in Netflix for that matter? You can see German series, French series, and you can still have subtitles in your native language. So who does that all the work? Basically, it's a person who has studied language. He translates all those dialogues and everything and brings the content. So that is how it works. So okay, and not only this, even if you're studying economics, or even if you're in IT sector, you can join international companies. You can join World Bank, IMF, or even for that matter, if you're someone who is studying international relations, you can, and you have knowledge of foreign languages, like if you know French or if you know Arabic, these are one of official languages of the UN. So if you know these, you can also go and work in any of the international organizations like UN, or whatever. So that is how attracting, and that is how they're fruitful, and they give you back in so much. The only thing that you need to put is passion and commitment, and they give you so much back.
Great, Heck. I am very thankful that you have brought in so many dimensions of languages, including international relations, dubbing, subtitling, going with conferences and whatnot. Thanks for that. So I would like to ask Professor Jayalakshmi, who is also a language linguist. She has MPhil in English and she is teacher for French at college. I would like to ask her how you feel, when you interact with your students, how you you have to unmute yourself before you.
Yes,
Right.
it is great having this. It's great having you all with us, and it was a wonderful presentation, Mahak. And thank you for asking this question. It is actually great interacting with the students. I think I'm a little motivator for the students. Language is as a profession. It is not just I'm just dealing with all the. For example, as I'm a languager, not pertaining to a particular degree. I am taking French for BCom, BA, Viscom, and the language as is for everybody. Because even if you want to learn about French psychology, if you learn language, you could know the essence of what they are. Even for Viscom, for which the fashion world, Paris is the main hotspot. People wanted to take in France. For which this language is a very. If you interact with them in their native tongue, it would be great, man. You could, and so they are taking in language as French. For instance, it's not just for any language. For additional understand to have
Right. So, you as a teacher in your university or college, you teach BBA students, you teach BCom students, you teach MBA students, psychology. So, this itself is a proof that, nowadays languages are being integrated with variety of courses because it has a great importance. I recall I used to teach in Rai University at there is a college where we had students from BBA, we had students from other streams. This is called IILM. And then I also recall when I was somewhere in BIMTech, Birla Institute of Management Tech, there also we had variety of students, mix of people. In IIFT also, this specializes in foreign trade BA program in international relations. And because of that, international called international business. You have option to either study French or you have option to study Spanish, or I suggested Chinese, so they introduced Chinese also. So these main language points, they help these exporters because you will find lots of exporters running around here and there. Lots of problem, when you're dealing in a foreign country and you don't know the language. If you go to a foreign country, you already face many barriers. But if you don't know the language, you have biggest barrier. And many times people don't talk to you because you don't know their language. So if you are dealing with someone, especially for money, the best thing is to communicate, with them in their language. They feel happy about it. And the ice breaking takes place quick. So the cultural barrier, the language barrier, problematic point gets over quickly. So therefore, I believe, language linguists as a person, they are communicators as well as ice break. So many times I recall, when there is a big deal, $1 billion deal, taking place from two countries, let's say between Mexico and India, and two big business houses. Bosses are many times smart boss takes you along and tells you to be quietly observing what they're speaking in their language. It's like a spy. And don't tell them that you know Spanish or French or Italian or whatever, so that whatever nonsense they talk, this is how the corporate world works. At times, and this also happens in political talk. You just go there as if you don't know the language, and you observe, and if there is something typical which should be observed and given feedback to, you give. So linguists are used in intelligence in a big number. India, China, worsening relations. India needs currently 5,000 translators for China. It's a big demand. Similarly, when there is a big collaboration going on between military. I recall there was warships coming from Russia and technology being transferred. They had around millions of pages to be translated, and it took 2, 3, 4 years to translate these documents. And many people were employed as military officers only as a translator, but they were given name Lieutenant so and so, but in bracket translate. So imagine, the opportunities that you have from school to warfield, you are there. There are many translators and interpreters who work, in rescue operations with, when there is a disaster, when there is a war. For example, Afghanistan, lots of, destruction has taken place. Military is there. US military does not know to talk in Pushtu or Afghani language, who will talk? Translators. They had many times these translators interpreted as threats, because they were told that this is the fellow who has translated and given information to the other people, and he's a traitor, so kill him. And there are many people who risk life as a but in all these things, what we learn, we explore as a human being. It's not only that you earn money that matters, it is also the journey of your life that matters more, and how joyfully you have lived that moment, that period. And that joy comes only you have passion about. If you don't have passion, it is difficult. So before I come to Shubhangi, let me see if our friends have any comments to make, and then we come back. Okay, Abu is saying JNU student and teachers rescue is somehow good. Yes, Abu, that is the beauty of JNU. And Ombadi is saying engineering education loses its fancy, right? Students are looking for value-added language education. Yes, sir. Passion plays important role. Shruti is saying. Then I agree with Mahak. When I entered into 11th standard, I choose humanities, but I received negative comments from people in my society. It is there. I recall, yes, I agree with Mahak, right? Rahul Khatid is saying, my passion to find science in Indian languages. That is great. Uma Balu, who is also a Japanese expert, I can help students study animation and Japanese language in Japan. If you have interest, you can contact Uma Balu. She can take you to Japan with animation and Japanese language both. Shruti, they are always forced me to change my stream, but I was determined. Yes, you should be. You should master. People see the problem. People can give you their words. Many times parents try to tell that I was not able to do, so my child will do. That is a good thing, good strategy. You can take up the legacy if you are really, your parents have been able to transfer that. It's good to take it forward. But if not, then you have to tell your parents that no, I have another thing in life. You can take admission in Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Vishwavidyalaya, Rahul Khatib, right? If you do MA English Sanskrit, you can become a successful translator. Abu is saying there is very negative mindset among the people. They don't try to look into the passion of children. They are only care about others, and that's what they think. Yes, I agree. Abu, most of the people have negative mind and understood, right? So now, with regard to education, at least in Indian context, slowly, I believe this thing is changed. The perception is changed. I recall when I had I was in political science in the university. I stood first in my college. I had around 60% marks in first year, which is a big deal for political science in Delhi. The topper had 62. So, and there were hardly 3-4 people who got 60%. And with that, the aspiration of my father has gone okay, my son is going to become a civil servant. He wanted to be, he could not clear, although he was later on became commandant at ITBP, and he left and he became a professor. But he had a dream to become full civil servant. which he could not. So when he saw me doing first college, he was very happy. But when he saw me changing my track to JNU, and he was shocked. There were lots of people in family who were. They said, "What is this Spanish doing there? I mean, लड़का कर क्या रहा है? करेगा क्या जिंदगी में? लगता है ये भटक गया वहाँ दिन। JNU वालों ने उसको कॉमिस्ट बना दिया। Something of the sort. ये नेता बनेगा। इसीलिए ये पढ़ाई लिखाई छोड़ के लैंग्वेज वंगेज करेगा, टाइम पास करेगा और नेता। Something of that sort. They started creating. But I recall in second year, one of my senior told me, if you are free, there is one assignment. Why don't you take some tourists to Agra and Jap? And I luckily I had a good chance, and I went with that fellow, that couple, as a FIT tourist. They had come as a guide, and I earned around 10,000 rupees, 10,000 10 days there. 10,000 rupees that time was a big deal, and I was not able to spend that for all next 6 months. And third year I started full-fledged job. Can you imagine? Student who has nothing in hand. At that time, there was no job opportunity. And that experience, that one small experience of roaming around with tourists for 7 days in Agra, Jaipur, and Delhi, living with driver and talking to people around on the street, that 7 days has changed my life. And I was independent in 30. I stopped taking money from my parents for my own. In fourth year, I had a full-time job at Peruvian embassy. I was assisting ambassador of Peru. Can you imagine? This doesn't happen, with engineering people most of the time. So if all this has happened because of passion. Because in first year, I myself and some of my classmates, we used to go to tourist places and talk to tourists, in their language. Because that time, not much of two-way communication was there with this Hispanic world. Very few used to come. But luckily, we were able to talk to and learn. That gave a confidence. If you do not have passion, you will not go out of your home. You will not find people. You will not do experiments. Similarly, if you are an engineer, if you are in first or second year, you should. If you are a mobile engineer, you should know how to correct your bike or your car. And if you're taking your car to a shop or workshop, that means. There is fundamentally wrong in your code, right? Similarly, if you are a computer engineer or hardware engineer, and if you don't know how to repair your own computer, that means you have wasted time. If you are a software engineer and you don't know how to design your website, that means you are useless. I mean, fundamentally, this is a basic fundamental of life. So if you are a language person, and if you don't know how to roam around with tourists, that means, again, there is something fundamentally wrong. No? And if you are a teacher of a French language, and if you don't know how to motivate your students, that means there is something wrong. So think of all these things, my man, and घुमा फिरा के वो passion ही आती है. So now let's come to Shubhangi and see what Shubhangi has for, and perhaps we will talk more about options. No, Shubhangi, let's.
Thank you, sir. Myself Shubhangi, and I am pursuing German honors from Delhi University. I remember once I told a relative that I am pursuing a language. She said, "It's just a language. You just become a translator and nothing else. No one else. You do not have any scope further being a translator." And I was like, I was so stunned at that time. People don't know the importance of being a foreign language proficiency person. They just relate learning a foreign language being just a translator. But I must tell you that it's not like that. Coming to the job aspect, companies like Amazon, Infosys, Samsung, TCS, HCL, LG, IBM, Genpact, Accenture, Geometric Limited, among others, are now evaluating their employees based on their foreign language proficiency. It has also increases the level of salary as compared to their regular graduates. Academic qualifications and proficiency in foreign language opens the gate of career in sectors such as tourism, embassies, diplomatic services, such as foreign language trainer, interpreter, tourist guide, air hostess, or flight steward, public relation officer, freelancer, writer, etc. And also international organizations, publishing, interpretation, and translation, of course. Additionally, various multinational corporate bodies require candidates possessing excellent language skills in French, German, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, Korean, Portuguese, etc. Some new avenues, such as online content writers, technical translators, or decoders, too have come up in a big way. International organizations such as the United Nations organizations or the Food and Agricultural Organization, and various Indian national organizations such as Ministry of External Affairs, Reserve Bank of India, etc., to require professionals who have specialization in foreign languages. Where can you learn foreign languages, and how much do you need to spend foreign languages? Whereas fees for foreign languages courses in central universities such as Delhi University or Jawaharlal Nehru University is minimal. Why? Whereas private institutions such as Max Muller's Bhavan or Inlingual charge considerably high amount of fees from students. Whereas learning Korean, Japanese, and Chinese is tough, these are available at only a few centers in India and are available at a high cost. Arabic and Persian are easily available at the national universities, and hence that too at very less cost. The five of the most influential foreign languages options for students in India are Mandarin Chinese, French, German, Spanish, and Japanese. The government and the universities also provide stipendium or the scholarship for the students pursuing foreign languages. Jawaharlal Nehru University offers attractive scholarship for students studying foreign languages. The university has excellent student exchange programs with various universities, and foreign language students also receive option to study in foreign universities for certain period of time during their study in GN. University of Delhi to offer certain scholarships based on merit and performance in university exams. Max Miller's Bhavans also offer two scholarships at its centers in India to the two best students of advanced level learning. They are offered a chance to visit Germany and observe the society and the people to learn the language with first-hand interaction. Coming to the demand and supply of foreign language translators, India requires a huge number of foreign language experts, particularly in Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages. Whereas India possesses a million of English translators, language experts, it faces a shortage of people who know French, German, and Portuguese, etc. One important reason for shortage of trained foreign language professionals is the lack of infrastructural setup in Indian universities and institutions. Also, there are not many universities which offer quality teaching or training in any foreign language. Additionally, most of the foreign languages training centers or universities are located in metropolitan cities and big cities, and candidates from small cities cannot afford to come to learn a foreign language. And when it comes to the remuneration, how much do you earn by having a foreign language at your hand? You should know that you earn a pretty handsome amount. Foreign language professionals earn attractive remunerations depending upon the work and the organization. Professional working for PR or marketing department of any MNC can earn up to rupees 30,000 to 50,000 per month. Teachers can also earn any salary in the range of rupees 50,000 to 25,000 per month. Translators, on the other hand, receive rupees 250 to 500 per page. Compensation depends upon a lot upon the proficiency in the language. As we have already discussed in our previous videos of subtitling and translation, difficulty level is also considered as a uh, as a aspect for having a higher payment. Similarly, an interpreter who is paid on an hourly basis can earn up to rupees 2,000 to 4,000 per hour. And if you want to be a good translator or a good you want to have a good proficiency in foreign languages, as sir has already said, you need to go out and try to interact with the people of their native speakers, since no one can speak better than a native speaker. So talk to them to enhance your vocabulary and your speaking skills. And ready-made sentences do not help in long term. You do not learn the sentences. You need to learn the language and make your own sentences. They can be a problem at the beginning, but efforts would always pay in the end. What various MNCs and PKOs look for in a candidate is their fluency and clarity in the language. So you need to gain them over time. As my closing statement, I would like to say several students start learning a foreign language in their school, and numerous others opt the course after their 10 plus 2 and go for their graduation courses that are offered by various institutes and universities and college. So if you have a deep interest in knowing the way of life, language, and culture of other people, learning a foreign language is an extraordinary option as your career. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Shubhangi. Thanks for explanations as well as certain graph that you have talked about, remuneration, etc. Let me add little bit more to it. The prices that you have explained and the remuneration that they have, it is for entry level people. But with regard, experience, I am aware of people who were getting 2 lakh rupees monthly salary, who are still get. I have some friends whom I know they have a package of 20 to 30 lakhs per annum. That means around 2 lakh rupees. I am aware of some translators, interpreters who get, when they work for good conferences, they get at least 25 to 30,000 rupees for a single day. I don't work below 25,000 for it. Whether it is Hindi, whether it is Spanish, that is the minimum rate. Similarly, there are much more senior people than me who might at times ask for 30,000 plus all star facilities, 5-star facilities if I go out of them, or you have to stay overnight somewhere, right? Similarly, translation. I'm talking about after having 25 years of experience, I don't work below 1,500 rupees for of any line. If it has 1 line or 5 line, that is the minimum standard. So you have to create a benchmark and a value for you. There are people who could do it even for 100 rupees. If you go to courts, you will find people sitting on table and they are ready to even take up 100 rupees cost, and there people pick up image from ye iska future yahi. Even lawyers, you will find lots of lawyers sitting there. Usko bolte hain lapke lawyers. आप जाइएगा तो लपकिंग. Similarly, there are tourist guides in Agra. They are also called lapke guide. एक टूरिस्ट पहुंचा, उसके साथ 4 गाइड पहुंच जाएंगे. आइए मैडम, शॉपिंग कराएंगे आपको, इधर कराएंगे, उधर कराएंगे, 50 रुपए दे दीजिएगा. And they talk in Spanish and they talk in Italian and Chinese and all. कुछ pick up कर लेते हैं स्वीट से, and they talk in their language and they try to persuade them, And in society, let's say people who go to Agra in Taj Mahal and they see some Duhasiya there, translator and interpreter, and they do these Duhasiyas doing this kind of activity. Certainly they will have image कि हमारी जो शुभांगी है या महक है, इसका फ्यूचर वही होता है. तो अब सिमिलरली अब कहीं मान लीजिए गए वो कोर्ट में और बाहर टाइपराइटर लेके बैठा हुआ होता है. अच्छा, वकील बना है बंदा, ठीक है, चलो ऐसा ही बनेगा. Future is right, but they don't know that there are lots of lawyers who just go in the court, present themselves for a minute, and they charge 2 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees or 10 lakh for one single standing for a minute. So you have to create your value. Similarly, there are lots of, I'm talking about in Europe or in Latin, in UN standards, this minimum rate for one interpreter is $850 minimum for 1 day, plus all 5-star facilities, airfare, visa. There is a remuneration for transportation, additional $50. There is an additional remuneration for food, $50. It makes to around $1,000, 60,000 rupees. Similarly, UN translators, when they are in their payroll, at least they get around $8,000 to $10,000 for a month. Even government servants, foreign language government servants, they are gazetted officers. Minimum salary which they receive is around 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees for a month. And, additionally, they get some allowance for being a link. Similarly, there are lots of, I know of corporate world, including Maruti, including Suzuki Metal, including Honda, including, some corporate good house, TCS and Infosys, etc. They give additional, salary to links. If you are a foreign language expert and an IT guy, both, your salary is almost 50% higher than I can tell you with guarantee, because my sister, who is a IT person, cybersecurity expert, and she has learned Japanese, and she gets a better deal than always, at least 20 to 30% bargain she can make. Luckily, in my family, everybody is, including me, for Spanish, Portuguese, and French. My wife, Arabic and French, sister Chinese, my another sister Japanese, my cousin Russian and Korean, and my brother-in-law is an engineer with Japanese combination and with a Japanese wife. Just imagine. So we have around 10-15 languages in the family. If I had been, I'm telling you with why to make career in languages, because I am practicing it, and it's not that that I'm telling you something different and I'm not doing it and my family is not doing it. All brothers, sisters, including relatives, they are into languages. I have brought some people from my village and they have learned languages at a low cost, and they are doing much better than anybody could do. So this kind of, and it is good that people say that ye to wahi banega, and that way they are not creating competition for you. Let them remain in their own mindset. If you convince them, they will create crowd, and more number of the linguists comes into the market, your value will go down. This is the reality I'm telling you. But certainly, when we talk of welfare factor, when the challenges start coming, you have to beat them by adding some value. You integrate yourself with project management, social media marketing. This is what we are doing in our internship program. You are no more a linguist now. In after 1.5 months of training, after 2 months, and when you start slowly practicing in over a period of 1 year or 2 years, whatever you learn, you will evolve to be a good project manager, a good contract manager, a good citizen journalist, a responsible citizen. So that kind of, I believe, interlinking language and other careers. If an engineer can learn a language, why a language cannot learn engineering? If a lawyer can learn a language, why a linguist cannot become a lawyer? If a doctor can learn a language, why not a language learner can learn the medicine and anatomy and become medical interpret? Medical tourism is in on big rise. I have done interpretation while somebody was being operated, heart surgeon, Trehan, the well-known heart surgeon. He has brought a delegation from, Spain of doctors to teach them how to operate heart, and I had to interpret that. So that the challenges are very high, when you are doing it. Many times you have to interpret, the warheads. Many times you have to interpret how to operate the robots, and how to teach your robot to understand it. Because you being a bilingual, you have to train others, and if you don't understand, you will not be able to do good interpretation. The way we have to learn to enter into the shoes of the writer to become a translator for a literary translation. Similarly, as an interpreter, you have to enter into the shoes of the system, learn the context, learn everything, and then you will do good interpretation. So these kind of things are happening in our system. And my friend, therefore, if you are 10 plus 2, or even if you're a graduate, and still you have not been able to focus on your passion, if you're still struggling, I will tell you to think of all these points. And if you have any more questions, you can certainly come back to me. My details are available everywhere. Our Modlingua channel has all the details, including social media platforms, WhatsApp number, telephone number, forums. Connect anywhere. Be with us. I believe we will be able to help you out, at least personally. If not personally, we will connect you with our interns, with our social media friends, community. This is how we are trying to grow. The idea is to remain connected and help each other and grow. Before I close and ask Jayalakshmi to make our closing remarks for the day, I will again go to our channel and say hi to everybody and ask if they have any observation, question, or anything to add. And I will again request my friends, please do share this video, especially among 10 plus 2 students, or among those students who are still, struggling to find out their ways. I'm sure this will be able to help them, and they can certainly connect with us. We will help them out. We have been providing lots of training programs free of cost to variety of people. If anybody is interested in having a webinar on languages in their schools, colleges, etc., specifically for them, I will be happy to make. Or our interns are there who will help them out, because now they are fully prepared with these ideas, thoughts. So my friends, you have something, do comment and do share. And after the program is over, please do not forget to make a comment, in the comment section, because it keeps us motivated and we get feedback. And if you have any other topics which you want us to make a webinar on, please do also mention about it. Either here or in our program, or in our one-to-one interaction that we generally do through our WhatsApp number. That is 9953882481. I write it here, 9953882481. So please do connect, share your thoughts, passion, whatever is possible. Bring community, grow community, help them all. And before I close, I would like to ask our friend Jayalakshmi to please, unmute herself first and then give a closing remark. And see if there is still any further scope of improvement in our activities. We would love to rectify it. And thank you for your time. And Professor Jayalakshmi, please welcome.
Yeah, it was wonderful yourself. I saw a serpentine list of job process has endless, but not limited. I'm just saying, she said translation. The translation has several varieties. You have legal translation, medical translation. Every single objects
Exactly.
are now translated into, because it's due to globalization. One product which is being manufactured somewhere is actually everywhere. So every single thing is it. So the scope of translation increases today, it never decreases. And interpretation, as she said, it was everybody thinks of just tourist interpretation. Now there are phone interpreting, video interpreting, even the researchers want some videos to be interpreted for their research purpose. So phone interpreting and video interpreting, which is very new, and they want, if they want business, they just wanted, they'll give you some ideas, and you just have to call the person who is abroad and just want to ask the info, ask for them. Even for, they just want the stuff, the intermediate phone interpreting popular. And apart from that, you have subtitling of not just the films or videos, and for just the video of the toys, or the everything, even for Lego you have languages. So the prospects of industry, the language always increase, I assure you. And the the salary which you have quoted is as we said, it exists. And one more thing I wanted to remark is that there will always be a period, that too specifically for a woman, there will be a break in the career after your marriage, or a childbirth, which will not have to know a language. You can just sit and have a career. You will not have a break in a career. You will have at home, and so you can earn from home, which is a very positive aspect. And also the cruise interpretation left out. Yeah, the cruise, and that is a fun filling part. For a woman who has to balance both career and home, this is an ideal field, I would suggest, because I am a live example who is enjoying both with my children and having a prospects in my career. I don't compromise both. So I feel most blessed to have chosen language as a career. I wish that was by accident, but by God's grace, it is working out. At least for you guys, you've been under right guidance, and you started right away to have a language along with your main subject, or you can take it as a right. It is of your choice, but it is going to help you long way. Yeah. Thank you for the wonderful session. It's good interacting with all of you.
Great. Thank you, Jayalakshmi ji. It was a very good session. And thanks for the insight you have brought about some, women aspect in language. It is very good. I'm telling you, the reality is lots of, I recall in last 20 years of my entrepreneurial experience, I'm telling you that most of our translators are ladies, for even in India and abroad. Most of them, of course, there are good translators, smart ones who are males as well. Because they were they were more visionary, because they knew to smartly understand that this is going to be the future. Currently I'm telling you, it is a research by Common Sense Advisory. It is one of the good known research points, institute as well as research companies. They are doing annual basis research on translation industry and language industry for last, I recall, for last 15 years. And they are saying that there has been consistency in the job market for language people. There has been rise in the consumption of content, global phenomena all over the world, and that has added value, and optimism to the future of the translation. Also, the Google phenomena, and the concept of going local, local and global, both. International language, the demand has increased manifold. Local languages, the demand has increased manifold. Now, this post-corona, the globalization is now coming back to with a concept called deglobalization. So means people will go now look, and again there will be local consumption of the local languages. And for translator in US, I'm talking, the salary is at the higher point. It has increased. But for engineers, the salaries have, and this increase is in consistency 20%. I, as a representative of and founding president of Indian Translators Association, as a researcher on Indian market as well as Asian market, we have also done lots of research in this prospect area. And in Indian context, because of we being a multilingual country, the consumption of local language has grown so much high that we are not able to measure it. Number one, you were talking about subtitling. The YouTubing phenomena, has increased tremendous in so many, dimensions, translation as well as subtitling, that we are no more only interested in doing subtitling for TV and serials and movies. It is also talks like this, that needs subtitle. Although Indian, YouTubers and bloggers do not have that purchasing power, but people are doing it out of passion, out of, their curiosity, out of their contribution to the community development. And this is how, there will be a time when those channels, who are being empowered by subtitling, they develop, after some period of time, the capability to pay to their volunteer or give them gift or give them recognition. So they give back, for all the contributions which they receive in the big. You will find lots of news channel. I know a friend of mine who was a good, who is a good, political analyst and a journalist working for a big TV house, but he has started his own channel 6 months back. He has crossed the 1 million mark of followers just few days. 10 lakh followers. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the power of a common man if he says one line and 10 million people listen? So these are all language motivation. You can also, as a linguist, with knowledge of your law, with knowledge of politics, with knowledge of society, culture, you can do it. Modlingua channel is one example. We are evolving slowly, although we are not grown too high in numbers. But we have been focusing more on quality, and I'm sure time will come when we will have a big boom. So with this, my friend, I would like to thank you for it, and would like to give you my best from Professor Jayalakshmi, also from Mahak and Shubhangi, and from all members of Modlingua fraternity and community. We await you very soon to be a linguist and a language professional, and we will go road together. So if anything you need to know about language program, courses, etc., you are free to call me. Courses, mainly I will give you some names of the university which you can always try. One is Jawaharlal University, another one is the government one. Then there is, Hyderabad University, Gachibowli, Central University of Hyderabad. We have CIFL in Hyderabad as well as in Northeast region, Shillong, and some other branches that has taken place. We have private universities like Amity, which has introduced variety of courses. We have private colleges that our friend Jayalakshmi teaches in. There are a variety of private institutions where you can explore. Modlingua is now also planning to initiate some good training programs in languages, but currently we are focusing more on professional development of language people. So we have programs like translation management course. We will have programs like social media journalism. We have citizen journalism, social media training. We already have. We also intend to have programs on translation and technology together. We will also have programs like critical thinking. We will also have programs like literary translation, legal translation. We will also have programs on scientific translation, simultaneous interpretation. They are all in process. We will introduce it one by one. There are lots of excitements to come. So if in any part of your career, if you get stuck up, you have a reference point, you come to Modlingua, we will accelerate your career. That's correct. With this, my friend, I must thank you again for your time, and all the friends who have watched us and has encouraged us. Thank you again, and thank you, our panel. Hope to see you soon. With good luck. Before I close, I just wanted to say, there was one poet who says, कौन कहता है आसमान में सुराग नहीं, आसमान जरा बुलंद इरादे से पत्थर उछाल को तूफान. The idea is, there is nothing impossible. The only thing is you need to have josh, jazba, do whatever you decide. So with this, my friend, I hope you will do well. Best with wishes, and we'll come back again with another webinar. Thank you again. Take care. Bye.